Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of the Intrusive Thoughts podcast. I got a lot of stuff that I want to cover today. Since the last episode, we've had the Trae Young trade going to the Washington Wizards. We've had divisional and conference championship games in the NFL. I want to cover all of that. I want to cover my Super Bowl prediction that, spoiler alert, isn't right. Half right. Do I get half a point? I don't know. And I do have something that I'm going to announce at the end of the episode. I've been thinking about it for a while, and it's just something I want to do for the subscribers. So stay tuned if you want to listen to that. And up next is the new episode, long-awaited episode of the Intrusive Thoughts podcast.
I've been drifting through my mind where the silence talks. Stars fall slow in my intrusive thoughts. City lights flicker, heart sinks with the plot. Reality bends when the questions start. I hear echoes of the truth in distortion and bass. See reflections of the void when I look in my face. Every word, every pose, just a code in the fog. I'm a mirror for the madness and I talk to God. Intrusive us. They whisper, they twist, they nod. Intrusive us.
Is the Intrusive Thoughts podcast.
So first, I want to start off and talk about the conference championship games while they're fresh in my mind, right? You had the 2-seed Patriots going on the road, beating the Denver Broncos with no Bo Nix. I think, honestly, it wasn't looking good for the Pats. Their offense has been shaky the last two games. Their defense have pulled through a lot. If the you-know-who's didn't turn on their weather machine in Denver, we might have a different conversation right now. But Drake May and the Pats got it done. Nobody played spectacular. There's not a lot to cover in that game. Ramondre controlled the ground game well. They didn't use Trae'd Henderson as much as I would have thought. As for the Broncos, their defense was amazing. Stidham looked good in the first couple drives. And then once the weather set in, I think the nerves started to set in. It ended 10-7. I mean, how much can I really talk about a game that ends 10-7? So congratulations to the Patriots. I can't believe they're going back to yet another Super Bowl so soon. And Drake May, is he going to win the MVP? Is he going to win the Super Bowl MVP? I don't know. My original thought, obviously, was he wins regular season MVP, and then Matt Stafford comes in there and handles them and wins Super Bowl MVP. Because they're both worthy of regular season MVP. They're both worthy. They're both talented enough to win Super Bowl MVP. But for that to happen, you need to have the Rams in the Super Bowl. And they couldn't pull it off. Now, let's switch to the NFC Championship game, the Seahawks versus the Rams. I'm really, really, really shocked, really surprised with how good the Seahawks are doing. I want to give a shout out to my boy, Sam Darnold. I think it's finally time to admit we might have made a mistake, us as the Vikings fans. Vikings ownership, Vikings general management. If J.J. McCarthy doesn't pan out next year, you got one more year. You got to be completely healthy, full off season, one more year. You have to prove that this was the right decision, or else we just let go of a franchise quarterback for nothing. And it's very sad. But shout out to Sam Darnold. Jackson Smith and Jigba was phenomenal yesterday. Kenneth Walker, where has this been all season? They just have such a complete team, and the fact that they handled business against the Rams, granted they were at home, granted the Rams punt returner, whatever his name, Smith, literally lost the game for them. Guy muffed the punt, which I will never understand, because if you fair catch a punt, right, they cannot hit you. What are they going? Oogity boogity, oogity boogity. Like, they can't hit you, and you're dropping it, you're falling, you're dropping it. Like, you're not built for that moment. You should not be back there. You just shouldn't. Shouldn't be back there. That led to an immediate touchdown, and the game shifted right away. And Sam Darnold played phenomenal. Stafford played well. Puka, great as always. Their running game was great. What a great game. That game was complete opposite of the AFC Championship. It was just firepower, a lot of fireworks, excitement. And congrats to the Seattle Seahawks. And they're going to the bowl to play the New England Patriots yet again. So obviously, as you know, if you've watched the previous episodes, I predicted Pats-Rams. It was that close to being right. But Seahawks are definitely worthy, the 1 seed in the NFC. They've handled the Rams all season. Darnold's been great all season. That injury didn't seem to affect him at all. Cooper Kupp is going back to the Super Bowl after winning Super Bowl MVP with the Rams. It's going to be one of them ones where, now, if I had to choose right now who I think is going to win after watching those games, just after watching those games, it should be the Seahawks. Their offense is so good. The Pats' offense has been so bad in the playoffs. I'm not going to rattle off a bunch of numbers to prove to you what I'm saying is right. Just watch the games. And defensively, like, the Pats have a great defense, obviously, but the Seahawks have a bunch of studs on the defensive side of the ball, a bunch of playmakers. I think logically the Seahawks should take care of business. But, you know, I've been seeing on the Twitter universe, that Stephon Diggs sold his soul. Now, this isn't serious. Like, I'm like half kidding. But Stephon Diggs sold his soul. Got with Cardi B, who is known to be like a satanic Illuminati, like, industry plant, whatever. And now the Pats are going to the Super Bowl. So because of that alone, and because I live in the New England area, I'm picking the Pats to beat the Seahawks. There's no justification. There's no reason why I should pick the Pats. You could argue Sam Darnold had almost as good of a year as Drake May. He's definitely shown it in the playoffs. He's been better in the playoffs than Drake May. You could argue they have a better running back. They definitely have better receivers. Defensively, as a system, they might not be as good, and they do play a lot of zone, which the Pats did well against the Chargers when they did that. But I just think something about Drake May, something about the Pats, it's just like, because if they lose this, it's hard for me to imagine they get back there next year with, you know, you got the healthy Bengals, you got the well, let's not talk about teams. You got Joe Burrow, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Josh Allen, you got Pat Mahomes. Like, this has to be the year you get it done. The NFC is always going to be a heavyweight fight, no matter who's there. But AFC, this is the easiest road you've had to the Super Bowl. You've not really been battle-tested. Defensively, I mean, you played the Texans, you played the Broncos, both really good defenses, and against a really good offense in the Chargers, you held your own and you stopped them. So I think now is the time. Drake May seems to be built for the moment. He seems like he has that swagger to him. I would expect that they use more of a two-headed monster in the run game, but Vrabel seems to be gravitating towards Ramondre very, very heavily. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. If I had to predict a score, right? It's like 24-21, just like a cop-out answer. I can't see the Seahawks only scoring 21 points. So I'm going to go... I'm going to go 28-25 Patriots, they have to put points on the board. You're not going to win with 10, 13 points. You're not going to do that. You have to put points on the board. And holding the Seahawks to 25 points, as far as I'm concerned, is very, very impressive. So that's my take on it all. I wish both teams the best. I'm happy for Diggs, former Viking. I'm happy for Darnold, former Viking. I'm happy for JSN, although I would love to see Puka Nacua in a Super Bowl matchup. Like, he makes big play after big play. Devontae Adams definitely deserves a shot at it. What is Stafford going to do? Is he going to retire? And what are the Rams going to do if he does retire? They do have Jimmy G. I've always been a believer in Jimmy G. He could be a little bridge quarterback like Jacoby Brissett, like, some of these other guys. But it's been such an exciting and random NFL season. I think all leagues, I want to say NFL, NBA have been very good as far as the parity last couple of years. We don't have, the Warriors dominating. We don't have the Pats dominating, even though they're in the Super Bowl. We don't have, it's been very, very unpredictable in the best way. And I hope we get a good game. Sorry, moving the camera. 28-25 is my final score. Super Bowl MVP. It's got to be Drake May. There's nobody else I would put on the Pats to win Super Bowl MVP. They don't have a receiver that I would say would win it. They don't have a running back. They don't have a tight end. They don't have a defensive player unless it's Christian Gonzalez gets 2 picks and a pick 6 and a forced fumble or something. But I don't think he's going to do that against JSN. So that's my prediction. That's me setting up the Pats versus Seahawks. I was wrong about the Rams, but I feel like I was right. They should have won that game. And it's going to be very, very exciting. Now, to switch gears a little bit, I did mention at the beginning of the episode, the intro, Trae Young got traded to the Washington Wizards for a bag of chips. Trae Young, dude who's been the face of the Atlanta Hawks franchise. Everybody was raving about Trae Young a few years ago. He's had an injury. He comes back. They're doing a little worse. Then he gets traded for Corey Kispert and C.J. McCollum. I love C.J. McCollum. All respect to him. But if you're the Wizards, that's such a steal. You got Trae Young, who can spoon feed Alex Sarr, who's been great this year, in his second year. You got a bunch of young players. You got shooters in Trey Johnson. You got defenders in Bilal Coulibaly. You got players there. If they maybe they're sneaky buyers in free agency. Maybe they're sneaky buyers with somebody else around the deadline and try to trade. But obviously they want to lose this year. They want to get that pick. Next year, the Wizards, I would expect to at least sniff the play-in. They've been definitely the worst team in the league, but Trae Young's a floor raiser. I'm not sure he's a ceiling raiser, but he's definitely a floor raiser, and I think it's going to be a great fit. As for the Hawks, I'm kind of confused as to what they're doing. Jalen Johnson is not a 1A. I just don't believe it. He puts up great counting stats, but in a playoff series, he's going to be your number one guy. No. I just don't believe it. They have, Dyson Daniels, Reece Shea. They need to make... I don't know what this offseason is going to hold for the Hawks, but they could have waited until the offseason to see if there were better deals out there for Trae Young. I just think it was such a steal for the Wizards. I think the Hawks, they must have a plan. I know they have the Pelicans pick, I believe. Pelicans first-round pick. So it's they don't need to be, tanking because the Pelicans are bad. They'll get their first-round pick and do whatever they do with that. It's just an odd mood. Ja Morant still on the Grizzlies as far as we know. I saw a report that they would want Ryan Rollins and a first-round pick from the Bucks for John Morant. Am I like on a different wavelength, like in another universe? Like, you're telling me you compare John Morant with Giannis, you have Miles Turner, Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma. I mean, maybe not this year. You know, you need to get some shooters. I know you got AJ Green. You need to get some more shooters to surround them because Ja's not a shooter. Giannis isn't a shooter. But you're telling me Ryan Rollins is going to hold you back? Ryan Rollins. He's been great. Candidate for most improved player. He's been really good. John Morant, like, I don't know what it is. Is the league too talented to where these players, their value is so low because you can find a player that's so close to their talent level for so much cheaper? And another thing, if you're the Grizzlies and you do trade John Morant, you have to trade Jaren Jackson. So you would trade John Morant for Ryan Rollins on a pick, and then trade Jaren Jackson for what? A couple first-round picks and some salary fillers, some expiring contracts. Like, I just, I'm not a GM. That would be a dream job. I would love to be a GM, but some of these things just don't make sense to me. I don't see the vision. If I'm the Grizzlies, John Morant definitely needs to go. He definitely doesn't jive in that locker room, He doesn't play a lot of games. He's hurt a lot. He's kind of like a headache, but maybe a change of scenery will make him even less of a headache. Well, definitely less of a headache for you as the Grizzlies, but less of a headache to whatever team he's going to, and maybe it'd be good for both parties. Like you have Jonathan Kuminga, who's definitely a 20-point per game talent, super athletic, young. The Warriors are just not messing with him right now, and you have to just move off him. You have to just move off him. These type of guys, you have to move off. Who cares about what they're going to do on another team? Maybe that's why John Morant for Ryan Rollins in the first, just like, get the headache out of here. Give me a good young player and a first-round pick from what could be a bad team, especially if Giannis decides to leave even after that move. Yeah, there's a lot of things. The NBA hasn't been exciting as far as like the trade deadline as we thought it was. You had names like LaMelo Ball, John Morant, Trae Young did get traded, but whoop-de-doo. You got names like Giannis, who's not being moved, Cat, who's probably not being moved. The Celtics should be in the market for a center, but they're playing so well, which, if you watched the first episode, I predicted the Celtics would be definitely above 500. Joe Mazzulla, Coach of the Year, watch. And, Klay Thompson could be on the move. Anthony Davis could be on the move. All these players are rumored to be on the move. This happens every year in the NBA. And it's always just a dud. So I don't know what these teams are doing. I do want to say that as far as my award predictions from the beginning of the year, I'm sorry. As a Thunder fan, you never want to pick Thunder player for this award, Thunder player for that award, Thunder coach for this award, Thunder player for that award. But SGA is going to be the MVP, and Chet's going to be the Defensive Player of the Year. I just didn't pick him because, everybody's going to be like, oh, you're a homer. Oh, Thunder suck. Oh, blah, blah, blah. They lose one game, and everybody's like, oh, this is such a low point for the Thunder. Like, I just don't want to hear that. Also, I just thought, I didn't think about the game requirements for awards, and I didn't think Shea could. I did think Shea would do the same thing and be maybe even better, but he's had to really carry the load this year, and I'm sorry, but I hate to say it, but he is Kobe-esque right now, and I wouldn't want to see him on any night. Game to game, he's 30 points, 35 and 5, 2 steals, like a block. That's you bet on that. It probably wouldn't even be like plus 200 if you bet 30 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Isn't that crazy? Like, and then Chet, we know how good he's been. You know, I've wanted to bet him for Defensive Player of the Year, but his health has been a concern. He's been healthy this year. He's been great weak side defender. You know, he can get out on the perimeter and move his feet well. He's really expanded this game offensively, but I don't want to go in on a tangent about my Thunder because everybody's going to say that they're choking, they're performing below expectations when they're like 37-11. Anyways, yeah, so NFL, we got Super Bowl, Pats, Seahawks. Let me know what you guys think the score is going to be in the comments. Who's going to win Super Bowl MVP, and the Trae Young thing. I don't think he's going to play for the rest of the season for the Wizards. That only makes sense if they're tanking, and we will get into more talks about it. I wanted to talk about the conference championships in the NFL while it was fresh on my mind watching both games last night. I wish there was more to talk about when it came to the Pats game because, you know, a lot of my fan base or a lot of my subscribers are Pats fans. But let's just be honest. They squeezed out of that one just like they squeezed out of the Texans game, and it hasn't been pretty. Super Bowl or bust, baby. This is where we're going. Now, I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about before I bring this up. One thing I want to say, I am currently in the works on a big episode, UFO related, about a figure that I think is very, very interesting when it comes to the UFO topic, who they've been in contact with, what they've done, who they respect. I just think I'm going to do a big episode on it. I know I've been talking sports lately. You gotta find a nice balance. Not everybody wants to hear about the aliens. Not everybody wants to hear about the NFL and the NBA every day. That being said, I might start. I just subscribed to the original Boom Box. It's like a card box that you get once a month. Gives you a certain amount of packs, hobby packs, because for me, I'm not able to purchase hobby boxes. Like, I don't have the financial means to waste $600, $800, $400, $1,000 on a box of cards. So this is a cheaper alternative for me to still get a chance to pull stuff that you can get from hobby boxes. So that should be exciting. I'm probably going to post a short when I get that today. Just me opening the cards, see if I get anything good, see if I get any on-camera luck. And last but not least, for the subscribers, right? I think I'm going to do a giveaway for my first, once I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway. First 100, it could be maybe merch is on the way. Maybe, you know, like if it's merch, it's probably just gonna be a hat to start. You know, see if my community's rocking with me. Gonna come up with some designs. But yeah, first 100 subscribers, because we need 500 to really get this thing rolling. So first 100 subscribers, you will get Intrusive Thoughts Podcast merch. We're at 29 right now, I believe, and so 71 to go. And you know, I please just like share this, you know, like, comment, subscribe if you don't already. And yeah, I mean, I have some mock-ups, some concepts of what the hats are gonna look like. I know a lot of people love merch, love random merch. This is going to be some fire merch. I mean, if anybody knows me, I'm not going to be putting out or wearing some fugazi stuff. It's gonna be good. The 100 subscriber threshold gives me some time to finalize everything, get them in motion, but please make sure you subscribe. I know this episode was short. I wish it was longer, but there's just not much to talk. The Pats didn't give me much to talk about in either of their games, and yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Next month, or very soon, will be another episode. This one took almost the entirety of a month. I said I would drop once a month for you guys, so I might drop some shorts in between, but one episode per month is a lock. So this is January's episode, February up next. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Please. Thank you. And until next time, peace.